Hello students and welcome to the e-learning program initiated by Shri Gyan Manjri Vidyapith for the students of Standard 10, in which we are learning the subject of social science. Students, we have started with chapter number 18, that is price rise and consumer awareness. So this is the fifth lecture for chapter number 18. Name of the chapter is price rise and consumer awareness. Let us take a quick recap of what we have learned in the previous lectures for price rise. We learned the definition, or how to say what is price rise. Then we learned about the benefits of price rise and price rise as a hindrance or an obstacle for the growth of the economy of the country. Then we learned about the two major factors that are responsible for price rise: planned and non-planned expenditure of the government. That we learned reasons for price rise. There are quite a lot of them because lots of things contribute to the price rise. So we should be dealing with different situation and reasons for which there is a price rise, out of which we discussed about the increase in monetary. Monetary means related to money, right? So money supply is increased by the government, which in turn affects the price rise. Population rise is one of the reason why the price keeps on rising, because the supply remains the same but the demand keeps on increasing. So there is a lot of gap between the demand and the supply, and people are ready to pay more, so price rise happens. Increase in export, rather than satisfying the demand of the country, people are interested in exporting that and earning more money or benefits, profits out of it, and the country is also interested because it gets rich foreign exchange by exporting goods and material and services outside. So increase in export is going to reduce the supply in the country, and so price rise will happen. Other reasons were high price of the raw material, because raw material nowadays becomes more and more costlier because demand is high and that same raw material cannot be catered to everyone. So whoever pays the more price, the material goes to them, raw material goes to them. So people are ready to pay more. So buying of the raw material becomes costly. That adds to the cost of the finished product. So the finished product already becomes costly, and then more profit is taken on it. So the price rise happens. Usage of non-registered income, that is black money, which is not in the books, is called black money, which is not shown to the government. That is black money. Because black money is there, people are ready to spend it in a haphazard way so that they can get rid of that black money. So unnecessary demand creates because of black money. Price rise by the government. The government announces lots of schemes, fairs, etc., where lots of money is spent, and that is how money comes in the hands of people, and price rise happens. Natural factors are also responsible for price rise that we have seen is floods, etc. They destroy the crop, so very less crop is available, and the price rise happens because of that. Progress, economic progress halts because of natural calamities, even storm, cyclone, lots of people saving their house, it gets damaged. So people, rather than using that money for something good, they have to expand on all these things, and so price rise happens. Smuggling, hoarding, and black marketing. Smuggling is unnecessary, uh, bringing the goods from outside without importing or paying import duties. People smuggle it from through the back door and sell it in the market. Both buyers and sellers, they are never paying tax, so nothing goes to the government, and the price rise increases because of that. Hoarding, unnecessarily people keep or hoard goods and materials with them, so that when there is uh, rise in the price, they can take lots of profit. So hoarding is done. Black marketing, selling things that are banned by the government or blacklisted by the government, or they are not able to sell it in the free market open, because uh, very less supply is there. So black marketing is done. People who hoard the things, they sell it in the black market. So all this unnecessarily increase the supply of money in the market, and price rise happens. Next point, very important, why we should control the prices, that we learn. Then we looked at the necessary steps that are taken to control prices. Now that can be done by the government, right? So the first one that we learned is the monetary policy. With the help of monetary policy, what is monetary policy? The RBI gets a strong hold over the economy by increasing the lending rates that it gives to the banks. So actually what the government is trying to do is to make the money disappear from the market, right? So when money is not in the market, people are not going to go to the market and buy unnecessary things and unnecessarily increasing the prices of the things, right? Because people do not have spare money with them. It does by the way of with the help of RBI. RBI increases the lending rate that it gives to the banks. So for the banks, it becomes more costlier to take money from the RBI. So in turn, it has to increase its rate of interest at which it lends the money. The bank lends the money to the customer. So customers are not buying loans or taking loans because the loans have become costlier. When loans do not reach in the hands of people, money do not reach the hands of the people, so extra money is not there, so demand goes down and thus price is controlled. On the other side, because now money is not got by the bank from RBI, so bank invites money from the people. It increases the rate of interest that it pays on several schemes like say fixed deposit schemes or recurring deposit schemes. It increases the rates over there, so people get attracted towards the increased rates because now they are going to get more interest on their money, so people rush to the bank with their extra money, and that is how bank now comes with more money, right? So now it is able to give loans to the people. So now those people who are interested in getting loans, they can get loans. So people are earning also. The loans which are very easily disbursed earlier now comes under restrictions. Only few people take the loans. So in this way, with the help of monetary policy, uh, also government bonds are sold in the government securities are sold in the open market, so people can invest over there directly, take the bonds from the government. Thus money goes directly in the hands of the government for 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, 15 years, right? And in this way, because people will be getting return from it also, and all of that becomes tax free, so they don't have to worry about that money. So money is in safe hands and money is not in the hands of the people. So in this way, with the help of monetary policy, the government tries to control the prices. Now let us go ahead with today's lecture. The next measure is takes to control prices, that is government, that is fiscal measure. Now what is the meaning of fiscal measure or the fiscal steps? Remember the spelling FISCAL, fiscal policies of the government. The policy of the government in which government adjusts the money it spends and tax rate that it puts, which then affects the economy, is called the fiscal policy. It is called policy because the government has to change it. The government has to change its policy. The government has to adjust money. The government has to adjust the money it spends and tax rate that it puts, which then affects the economy, that is called the fiscal policy, right? This is the definition of the fiscal policy. Now let us learn how it is done by the government. So under fiscal policy, the government takes the following measures. Out of that, this is the first measure taken by the government under fiscal measure. What is that? Government reduces the supply of money in the market. It does this by reducing its own expenditure as well as expenditures done by the government for the country. Now how is that done? How is that done? Right? How can the government reduce its own expenditure? We'll understand that with the help of a small example, that how is the government able to reduce its own expenditure? Many unnecessary schemes, many unnecessary schemes they are stopped or they are discontinued. For example, we have learned lots of schemes that are given by the government. For example, that Ma Annapurna Yojana, where 35 kg was given to uh, poorest of the poor. Now, that is a necessary one. We are just taking an example. Now, many such schemes are run by the government parallelly. Out of that, many are now working for quite a long time, and the government is just spending money on it, and people are unnecessarily getting money out of it because they are in the scheme. So, unnecessary schemes will be stopped. So, what happens is the government's money, which was going into the hands of the people, that will stop, right? So people will not be having money in the hand because the scheme has stopped. Another way to explain to you how the government reduces the uh, expenditure that it does for itself, that is government also, and for the people also, right? So now suppose there are lots of government departments. Yes, there are lots and lots of government officials. Mostly each of these government officials, because they have lots and lots of duties, right, and they have to perform that duties. So a vehicle is given to them. Mostly each and every official, they have been given a government vehicle, and they have been given a driver also by the government to carry out their duties, right? So we are just understanding how the government tries to reduce its expenses. So what happens, that official A, B, and C, they have their individual cars given by the, or vehicles given by the government. So all the three cars, all the three vehicles, what's a jeep, car, whatever you say, right? All the three on a daily basis will be using fuel, and at the end of the month, a huge expense is done by those vehicles. So what the government does is, in terms of crisis, when it wants to control the prices uh, in the fiscal policy, then what will it do? It will pool the three vehicles. Yes, two will be cancelled, and only one vehicle will be run by the three officials. So what happens? By not running two cars, it will save a lot of fuel, that the money is being expanded on this. So in this way, yes, the government reduces its own expenses. For example, the government at times will reduce the number of hours, working hours, right? Rather than 9 to 5, the government will amend the time from 10 to 4. So 2 hours will get cut. Now just imagine such a lot of government buildings using such a lot of electricity for working of tube lights, air conditioning, fans, uh, computer machinery, all of that. The 2 hours less, these machines will be using less electricity. So government is trying to cut the cost, right? So that government does not have to spend that. So that much money will be spared by the government. So government reduces the supply of money in the market. It does this by reducing its own expenses. Suppose lots of celebrations are done. One or two celebrations can be cut, so that that extra 4, 5, 10 crores which were spent after those celebrations are now not going to happen, right? So that much, because government is spending, that means somebody is getting it. Pandal lagana, khana pina, right? All that. So those expenses are cut. So what happens is orders are not given, and people will not receive orders, and they don't have to cater to the needs of the government, and they will not be getting any money out of it. So what happens? Money doesn't reach the, yeah. So in this way, by reducing its own expenditure as well as the expenditure done by the government for the country, it will stop the flow of the money in the market. Government temporarily postpones all such expenditures which are not urgent and not important. The government will try to stop all the schemes, all the expenditures which are not very urgent, and try to divert the money to those which are urgent, so that urgency of the money required in those schemes can be dealt with, and unnecessary money in the market will not enter in the economy. Next, under taxation policy. When the price rises, the government increases general taxes, so people reduce their purchases and the supply of money in the market decreases. दिस इज डन विद द हेल्प ऑफ टैक्सेशन पॉलिसी. टैक्स बढ़ा देते हैं, हर एक जगह टैक्स बढ़ जाएगा, हर एक जगह टैक्स बढ़ जाएगा, तो आपका आप जो इनकम अर्न कर रहे हो उसके ऊपर भी टैक्स बढ़ जाएगा. सो ऑटोमेटिकली you will have to spend more on income tax, so your the spare money with you will reduce and you will think twice before doing any expenditure. Next, you go to buy something, taxes on those things also have increased, so what happens is you will have to pay more for buying those things, so again you will think twice before buying those things. So under the taxation policy, when the price rise happens, government increases general taxes, so people reduce their expenditure, so money will not come into the market. When money will not come into the market, demand of those goods and materials and services will go down and prices will come down. Yes, you must have seen in this pandemic, when there was a lockdown, we did with least amount of things. Shops were not open, we didn't get any necessary items. Even those which were necessary, we were not even able to get that. Right? So we could see that we can do without things also. So same thing happens when lots of money is there in the market, just make the money disappear. So demand will reduce and the prices will tumble down. Government also increases income tax, that comes under this one. Yes, company tax, property tax, everywhere, wherever possible, it will try to increase taxes so that people have to pay more and more. And when people pay more, they will have less money with them. So मार्केट जाना बंद हो जाएगा. यस, चॉकलेट दे आओगे पापा, नहीं मिलेगी, टैक्स बढ़ गया है. राइट? सो गवर्नमेंट पुट्स रिस्ट्रिक्शन ऑन एक्सपोर्ट्स. एज अ रिजल्ट, गुड्स प्रोड्यूस्ड फॉर एक्सपोर्ट्स आर यूज्ड एट लोकल मार्केट एंड सो द प्राइसेस decrease. This is one of the essential things that should be in your answer. Right? Earlier we learned that in order to make profits, people didn't look at the local market, produce things and sold it outside the country, exporting it so that they could get more profit. Government was also interested that we will get the rich foreign exchange. Right? Now the table has turned. Prices are so high because people are exporting, so that creates an artificial scarcity of goods in the local market or inside the country. So what the government does at that time, particular things, it will make a list and publish the list and say that if you want to export this, you will have to take permission from the government, or export of these things are banned. For example, if we see today, I'm asking about today, if we see today, uh, lots of things are banned by the government, restricted by the government, because last 4 months, because of the pandemic, all the factories were closed. Whatever goods were available in the market, they are already consumed up. The factories are starting now and it cannot cater to the demand. So what happens if the goods are produced and sold outside? There will be no goods over here. Yes, right? सबसे पहला आपको प्रॉब्लम होगा, मैगी मिलेगी नहीं. राइट? सो व्हाट हैपेंस इज lots of things are banned. You cannot export it, so you have to produce it because factory तो चलनी चाहिए, profit मिलना चाहिए. So you produce but sell it in India, not outside. So what happens is, जो डिमांड थी, सप्लाई उसके बराबर हो गई. राइट? सो व्हाट हैपेंस, prices comes down. At the same time, government also increases import duties. This makes import costlier and so import decreases. दोनों बाजू काम करते हैं. एक्सपोर्ट भी नहीं करने देते, इंपोर्ट हाँ करो, टैक्स भरो, राइट। उस टाइम टैक्स भी बढ़ जाता है। 3,000 का आइटम मंगाया आपने, कोई बात नहीं मंगाओ, कितना टैक्स, 25% टैक्स। 3,000 का 25% कितना हुआ, अंडरस्टैंड। सो 3,000 के आइटम के ऊपर आप 800-900 रुपया तो टैक्स बढ़ रहे हो। अगर 800-900 रुपया टैक्स बढ़ा रहे हो, दैट मीन्स दैट 3,000 रुपीज आइटम विल बिकम 3,800। Who is going to buy from you at 5,000? Nobody is going to buy, right? Because everybody knows the price of that thing, right? So import के ऊपर इतना heavy tax कर देते, it allows you to import, but then there is such a lot of tax on that that literally you don't make any profit by selling it into the country after importing it. So people's interest in importing those goods, that will stop. So you can import, you're not free to export, but you are free to import. But such a heavy taxation that you will leave the idea of importing, and so people don't import. So what happens is money stays in the country. Next, we have learned about fiscal policy. In fiscal policy, please look again. Fiscal policy, we had 2A, then the book is with you, so 2B. Now we come to 2C. After this, 2C. Now, public loan policy. This is coming under fiscal policies, right? Under public loan policy, government tries to limit total expenditure of society by issuing loans and bringing schemes like compulsory saving plan. समझे नहीं समझे? Okay. Public loan policy. Save more. Now, how can you save more? How can compulsory saving be done? With the help of taxes. You will have to pay this much tax, or you buy this scheme governed by the government, that utna tax kam ho jayega, right? So in this way, this is called compulsory saving plan, right? So in one way or another, make the money disappear from the market. You have extra money, right? Pay more tax. If you don't want to pay more tax, you invest your money in this compulsory saving plan, so that you have to pay less tax also, and that money after 5 years, 10 years will come back to you from the government. Yes, and whatever interest you get from the government, that will be free of tax. So under public loan policy, government tries to limit total expenditure of the society by issuing loans or bringing schemes like compulsory saving plan. It encourages people to make saving. Lots and lots of schemes are launched, so that whichever scheme you are interested in, yes, it's not that only one scheme is there, everybody has to put money in that. So many schemes are available, where the government is just asking people, inviting people to come and invest their money. So it encourages people to make saving. It also takes steps to reduce the rate of public debt, decreases government subsidies and other financial aids, increasing the proportion and coverage of direct tax, lots and lots of things. Yes or no? Quite difficult to understand at a go. Now, no need to hurry. We'll go through each and every word so that you are clear with each and every word. When you read it, you have understood it. Now, it encourages people to to make savings. This we have already discussed, right? It invites people to do deposits with the government, so that money doesn't stay in the hands of the people, and unnecessary demand is not created, and the price comes under control when demand is not there. Second, it also takes steps to reduce the rate of public debt. Now, what is public debt? For example, we'll take the example of, say, subsidies is given over here. Decrease government subsidies. Now, all of you people will be having ration cards, that is APL ration cards, 1, 2, whatever. So the people who are in possession of BPL cards or Antyodaya cards, they are given lots and lots of food stuff, necessary condiments, fuel, etc., vegetable oil, edible oil, etc., on subsidized rates. We have discussed about it, right? So they get wheat at 2 rupees per kg, rice at 3 rupees per kg. It is given to them because it's not affordable by them to buy it from the existing market rates. They will have to spend all their income on food only. Then how will they improve the standard of living? So in order to do that, government has given them subsidies. See, the same subsidies are available at lots of other for lots of other commodities, goods, services, etc. What the government does is it either reduces the subsidy over there or it discontinues the subsidy. As far as ration card is concerned, let us talk about kerosene. In earlier times, kerosene was given at subsidized rate on ration cards. 25 रुपया 30 रुपया वाला 1 liter kerosene, the government used to give it at 5 rupees. 20 rupees the government paid for it. That's the subsidy. Sorry. That is the subsidy that it pays, right? So, government ने kerosene discontinue कर दिया. So, it was a government debt because government got only 5 rupees back from it, whereas the government paid 25 rupees per liter to the oil companies. The government was suffering 20 rupees. Now when it discontinued kerosene, that means now it doesn't have to spend money on kerosene. Understand? So that was a public debt. It was a debt which was for the public, right? Because by giving subsidy. So that way, decreasing government subsidies that we talk is now and then the government declares subsidy rate cut subsidies in say gas cylinders, right? पहले जो उतना मिलता था 50% मिलता था, right? Nowadays we don't get that much subsidy. The government is trying to decrease the subsidy because people's standard of living has increased, people's earnings have increased, so now they are not supposed to get the subsidy. So in lots and lots of areas, lots and lots of um, goods, commodities, services, the government is decreasing the subsidies or discontinuing the subsidies so that the government debt, government के ऊपर जो खर्चा बढ़ता है वो खत्म हो जाए, and the government will have money and the money will disappear from the market because subsidies have gone or decreased, so now you have to pay more. Other financial aids that is given, yes, suppose ये scholarship है, right? तो पहले 50 बच्चों को scholarship मिलता था. We are just discussing how the government handles these things, right? So पहले 50 बच्चों को scholarship मिलती थी. Now 50% cut हो गया. That means now only 25 students will get a scholarship. तो उतना पैसा government का बच गया. Now the parents will have to pay more, right? So their earnings will go in paying after the education because now scholarship is available to only 25 people. Rest of the people they will have to spend their earnings in education. So their spending in the market will get reduced, demand will get reduced, and price will also go down. Also increases proportion and coverage of direct tax. All the direct tax, right? Proportion. If even 0.5% of 1% is increased, then also that's quite a huge amount as far as direct tax is concerned. Imposes heavy tax on goods used by rich people and luxury items. Yes, the goods used by the rich people, for example, importing uh, cars made in foreign countries. Yes, latest models coming from foreign countries. When you import those cars, you have to pay a lot of duties. That duty will be increased so that people do not spend after those things and people will save money with them, and that money can be utilized by depositing it by the government. So anyhow that money doesn't go anywhere. High duty is paid by the rich people, those who are spending lots and lots on luxurious items. For example, use of 3-star, 5-star hotels, taxes are increased over there, right? So what happens is people try to avoid using those luxurious services because high taxes have to be paid. So that money is saved and that much money doesn't enter the market. The producers then invest money in producing basic goods. So they have the money with them. Only thing is they are spending the money unnecessarily. So if they are given a chance that they cannot spend the money haphazardly, then that money can be with them and they will be interested in producing goods that are for the basic requirement of the people. These steps reduce the proportion of on-hand income. The on-hand income in your hand reduces, right? So in this way, on-hand money that you have reduces, so you do not have that much money to go and spend with luxury in the market. So if you are not going to spend money over there, automatically demand will come down because nobody is interested in buying things at such a high price, right? So less demand, that means production also will become less and people are not demanding it, so prices will have to come down. As a result, demands of goods decreases and so does the prices. So in this way we learnt about two important steps taken by the government. First one is the monetary measures, second one is the fiscal policy, the third one is control on capital investment. In order to see that capital investment behind unnecessary and luxurious item reduce, the government implements license or permit system. Yes, in order to see that capital investment behind unnecessary and luxury items reduce, the government implements license or permit system, right? Because luxurious items, unnecessary wastage of money. So if people are spending too much money on luxurious items, then a permit system is introduced or license system is introduced so that people have to take permission from the government and they will shy away from doing it, and so those unnecessary luxury goods will not be used, nobody is going to buy them, and people's money will not be wasted on such unnecessary luxury goods. Next, government encourages such type of capital investment in which production of agriculture and industrial products or basic use increase. On the other hand, first thing is you are not able to spend money because then you will have to take permit or you will have to take permission from the government. You have money, so government gives you incentives so that you set up such establishment, factories, industrial units which produce some basic things that will help in reducing the increase in price and that will help in increasing the supply, thus coming down of the price rise, right? So government encourages such capital investment in which production of agriculture or related industrial products of basic use that increases. Steps are taken which reduce betting oriented capital investment. Capital investment where betting सट्टाबाजी होती है, right? uh, it happens on speculation, right? When the prices will go up, when the prices will go down. So betting or sattabaji happens on capital investment. So government, it takes steps where betting can be reduced so that people do not speculate, people do not lose their hard-earned money and unnecessarily do not do betting and waste their money over there. And the government also takes steps through which rate of interest increases and people start saving more. This has already been discussed earlier, that the government gives more rate of interest so that for example post office में है, yes, किसान विकास पत्र है या recurring deposits है, right? So in such government organization people are welcomed. A little bit increase in rate will attract people to go and deposit their money over there. So what happens is the on hand cash that they had now lies with the government, and they do not have that much money to go in the market and buy unnecessary costly goods, and that will reduce the demand, and that will result in coming down of the prices. The next one, very important, we learned, this is the fourth one in steps or measures taken by the government to reduce price rise. Price regulation and rationing, very very important. The most important thing that we are learning in this chapter is public distribution system, or it is called PDS. We learned in earlier chapters that PDS के अंडर में आता है FPS, that is fair price shop, that is that ration store, right? So we learned about this. Here you will have a proper question to answer. One of the steps to control price is public distribution system, which is implemented in India since 1977. Since 1977, this uh, distribution system or PDS has been implemented in India. The objective of public distribution system is to provide, point number one, essential goods of daily needs to people living below poverty line. Second, to people of low income group. These two are important points that should be covered in your answer. Now, all the people, there is such a lot of poverty in India. We got independence in 1947. Still, from then on, we started trying to remove poverty in India, right? And we needed some very strong measures, because after 5-year plan, green revolution, then we were able to grow sufficient crop which was able to supply to the demand, right? But still people were not able to fulfill their basic necessities, and they came under the category of BPL, that is below poverty line. Still they were not able to buy goods and materials for of basic requirement for survival. So government reached to them and gave them goods and materials at subsidized cost, so that whatever they earned, most of that was spent on these basic requirements of food. So they did not have enough money in hand to improve their standard of living and to come out of poverty. They always had to think, 150 रुपया मिला है, उसमें से 115 रुपया 20 रुपया खाने में चला गया. We consider a family of 5 members. तो 5 लोगों का खाने में ही इतना पैसा चला गया, then they do not have enough money in hand, right? So to make the poor people worry free, the government reached to them with the idea of giving them food stuff at reduced cost through the system of public distribution system. The one first aim was to provide essential goods of daily needs. Now what is the essential goods of daily needs? कपड़ा थोड़ी है, डेली मकान थोड़ी बदलना है. So clothing and shelter becomes secondary. Primary is the food requirement, right? So, and that also people living below poverty line. Second, to people of low income group, they are not that much poor, but they do not earn that much. They might be just above the poverty line. So वो लाइन जो है वो एब्सोल्युटली पकड़ के नहीं चलनी है, इसके नीचे और इसके ऊपर, राइट? 550 है तो तुम जो है नीचे, 550 है तो वो लाइन पकड़ के नहीं रखनी. There are many people who are surviving just above the poverty line. They come under the category of low income group. That income is not that much that after spending on food, clothing, shelter, education, health, they have a lot of money in hands. No, they don't have that much, right? So it was essential to reach them, and the government was able to reach them with the help of PDS. These goods are distributed at reasonable prices through the fair price shop, that is FPS, also known as ration shops. So BPL cards, APL cards, we all go to the ration store. उनको अलग तरीके से मिलता है, APL वालों को अलग तरीके से मिलता है. BPL वालों को 2 रुपया वीट मिलेगा, APL वाले को 2 रुपये wheat मिल भी सकता है if they come under that low income group. If they are above, they'll have to pay more. But everybody is getting that free ration, right? So, uh, subsidized ration, not free ration. So, mostly people who fall in the category of BPL or low income groups, for them, they have to pay very, very less for food stuff. They have to expend very, very less for food stuff so that whatever they earn, it can help them to increase their standard of living. Today, another important fact which should be in your answer. Today, there are approximately 4.92 lakh ration shops in India. 4.92 lakh. Rather than writing uh, ration store, you should write FPS, that is fair price shop. Yes, fair means gorane. Fair means affordable and reasonable price, right? Prices at these shops are less in comparison to the prices in the open market, that you know, right? Wheat, if it is 25-30 rupees in the market, a poor person may not be able to expend that much, but he is very happy if he gets wheat at 2 rupees per kg, right? So 2 rupees per kg is more than happy because he is saving 28 rupees, right? He's not actually saving 28 rupees. With that 28 rupees, he can do something better for his family. That is the money. Government pays the difference between. Now that is subsidy. This is the definition of subsidy hidden inside the text, but it is very, very important. What is the definition of subsidy? Government pays the difference between the original price and the rate of items at fair price shop. This amount is called subsidy. So, if wheat is 30 rupees per kg in the market, open market, where you and me go to buy, that is open market, right? From the kirana wala store, the grocery wala, yes, जो मैगी बेचता है, अगर grocery में समझ में नहीं आता तो, right? Now, in fair price shop, he gets at 2 rupees per kg, where FPS. The difference is 28 rupees, which is paid by the government. Now, why is it paid by the government? Why is it paid by the government? Because government buys wheat directly from the farmer. So government ने तो पूरा पैसा farmer को दिया है. Government ने, we learnt about MPS, right? MSP, minimum support price. Government paid MSP to the farmers and उनसे directly खरीदा है. लेकिन यहाँ सिर्फ 2 रुपये में है. That means government paid 30 rupees to the farmer, but they are getting only 2 rupees back from it. Rest of the 28 rupees government minus में जा रही है. No, that is not minus, that is called subsidy. Yes, and that is what we should remember, that if time comes, subsidy can be increased also, it can be decreased also. If it is decreased, then instead of paying 2 rupees, he will have to pay 5 rupees per kg, right? If it subsidy is increased, that means he will have to pay only 1 rupee rather than 2 rupee. So understand these points. These are all to be memorized also, and these are all conceptual also. If you do not understand the concept, रट्टा मारने से भी पॉइंट्स निकलेंगे नहीं, यहाँ से भी नहीं निकलेंगे, यहाँ से भी नहीं निकलेंगे. So while reading, after the lecture is over, my advice is go through the PDF. If you still you are not in possession of the material with you, or if the material is with you, then after each and every lecture, please go through the material, so that there will be many points you will not understand still. So if that is the situation, then please clarify your doubts. The public distribution system has become a boon. boon, vardhan, for maintaining the living standard of the poor people. As we just discussed, yes, 30 वाला आइटम 2 में मिल रहा है, बाकी 28 रुपया गरीब आदमी का बच रहा है. सो 28 रुपया कहाँ इस्तेमाल करेगा? अपने फैमिली के लिए करेगा. यस. सो especially during artificial scarcity, hoarding, black marketing, in which price rise considerably. Price rises for you and me. When I go to the market, 40 rupees. अरे कल परसों तो 30 रुपए केजी वीट था, अचानक 40. सर भाव बढ़ गया. दूसरे दिन जाओ, सर 50 रुपया हो गया. कल आए होंगे तो आज तो 60 रुपया हो गया. डबल हो गया. I face that problem, you face that problem. But the poor person is least concerned with 50 rupees or 60 rupees or even 30 rupees. Because every time he goes to buy from the ration store, he has to pay only 2 rupees per kg. So that will go reverse. That black marketing is not for him. Hoarding, he is not least concerned with. Artificial scarcity, चाहे कुछ भी हो वहां मिलेगा. बाजार में से वीट गायब हो गया, लेकिन राशन स्टोर में वीट पक्का मिलेगा. सो ही इज लीस्ट बॉदर्ड एंड मोर इंपॉर्टेंट इज ही इज लीस्ट अफेक्टेड विथ प्राइस राइज. वीट का 100 रुपया होने दो, उसको कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. ही विल स्टिल गेट इट एट 2 रुपीज. सो these things do not affect those poor people and they are quite happy with it, right? The success of this system, now we want, what do we want? That's the question. We want a smile on the face of a poor person because he gets wheat at 2 rupees. A rice eater will get rice at 3 rupees per kg, whereas that rice is 30 rupees, 35 rupees, 40 rupees in the open market. He is just not able to give rice to his kids and family. Now he is proudly able to give them because he gets it at 2 or 3 rupees. So there is a smile on that face, right? So if we want to keep that smile on the face of that poor person, then it becomes the responsibility of the society to maintain that PDS system and see to the success of the PDS system. Because if that PDS system gets corrupted, we know how it gets corrupted. Yes, यहाँ से गवर्नमेंट से लिया सामान, yes, पिछले दरवाजे से ब्लैक में बेच दिया. सो वी डोंट वांट सच पीपल टू हैंडल द एफपीएस. So the success of this system is mainly dependent on setting up of an effective mechanism, administer the availability and see that जिसके लिए है उसी को मिले. It is for the poorest people, it is for the poorest of the poorest people, right? And it should go to them only. Then only this mechanism, whole of this system can become effective and it can have an impact on the economy. The required quantity of the essential commodities as well as on the honesty and nature of the shopkeeper. Very, very important, right? We cannot reach, we just learned that there are so many FPS. Owner of that FPS has to be honest. He should not be involved in black marketing. He should not be doing that hoarding work. He should not be closing his shop and saying that the ration is over when there is loads of it inside the shop. He should not be cheating the poor people. We should expect honesty from him. So in this way, if we want this system to be perfect and successful, then we should have lots and lots of honesty. Administered price mechanism will be continuing in the next lecture. We today come to the end of this lecture. Thank you, students.